All right, so at this point, what I've done is I've already sewn on my two main fabrics, and now I've got my zipper in place like this in between them, and you can see that it works. So what I want to do now is I'm going to show you how to sew on, or sorry, first of all, how to pin and then how to sew the, um, the liner fabric. So what we want to do with the liner fabric ultimately is that we are going to sew along the stitch line that we already made when attaching the main fabric. So we're going to pin in such a way that we're going to be able to see that and follow it. And we're going to stitch from here to here. So I'm going to set up to pin and make that possible. So we want to make a zipper sandwich basically. I'm going to be following this stitch line. And what I want to do with my liner fabric is set that up so that it's going to do that well. Let me just grab my liner fabric that went over here somehow. Okay, so again, this is our top, this is our zipper side, and we're going to cover the whole zipper and pin here. Okay, and so what we're going to do is pin. Again, we want to be able to take out the pins as we sew this way. So we want the heads pointing towards us. And we're going to pin everything in place going through all three layers, the zipper, the liner, and the main fabric. Okay, there we go. And actually I'm doing this backwards. So we're going to flip this over because we are going to be sewing on this side. Okay, so trust me that the liner fabric is there. We're going to be sewing on this side. So that needs to go through like that. And then we go along and make sure at all times that everything is lined up neatly. So you can see that starting to slip. I'm going to pull it back into place. We don't want gravity working, so we're going to just do that. And just keep checking. This one is a little bit more fiddly. So you want to keep checking over and over again that everything is in the right place as you go through all three layers. Okay, and get that pinned nicely in place. I think I want 2 more pins. And then I'll be ready to sew. Okay. And there we go. And like I said, I'm going to just check one more time. So I think I've done that correctly. Let's flip it over and look. Yep, that looks decent. Okay, so we're going to sew here. And what we want to do, because at this point we can't actually see the zipper anymore. And it doesn't matter which side we sew on, we can't see the zipper. We want to be very careful that we're not getting too close to the zipper when sewing and then messing up with the teeth. So we're going to use our first stitch line as a guide and try to stay further onto the pouch than that stitch line. The other thing we need to do is make sure that as we do that, we are not sewing through this other fabric. So that should be possible to do though. It's hanging out of the way. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to line this up, and I've got it set up so that because I know my zipper is on this side, it's set up to avoid this side and to clamp on this side. And I'm going to line up so that I am going to stitch. Oops, hold on. I've got my zipper on the wrong side here. So here, I'm going to show you how to do the other side. Boom, that drops down and we move over. And now, oh, there we go. Now we're good. Okay. And so now, because my zipper is now on that side of where I'm sewing, I want the pressure here and I want nothing over here. And this is going to be very tight, but I want to make sure that I stay on this side of that line as I sew. So I'm going to plant my needle. And at this point, I'm going to take out my first pin. Okay, this is actually what I did when I was sewing in the first place as well, but you're seeing it now with the lining there too. It's just you can't see the lining. And I'm going to put my presser foot down, sew forward a little bit, and then back up. So remember, when we do that, we're tying a knot, and forward again. And as I sew, oops, I've come off. So what we're going to do is we're going to just cut that and try again. Okay, Let's try that one more time. Press our foot down, in we go. We're sewing so close to the edge here that it can be a little bit tricky. Now I think it's going to go. Okay, now we're coming up to the next pin. So we want to pull that out and keep going. I'm sewing nice and slow here because this one is very delicate to do correctly. There we go. Yeah, I'm coming up to my last pin. I'm going to pull that out and sew super slowly at this point, as slow as my machine will let me go. Okay, now I'm going to hand sew right until the edge and then back up. And then come forward again, and remember that's like tying a knot. Now I'm going to turn my hand wheel until my take-up lever pops up here, and then I should be able to pull this out